accommodate. So we had a range there in our front aerials. I think we're going to go into some front tucks. And before we show that, let's just talk quickly, review about front tucks and landing positions, basically might be because of lack of height, it might be because they didn't open. But we're looking at them landing a front tuck position with their knees, well, let's say their hips above their knees. So if you draw a line horizontally and you have knees and hips, that would be less than ideal. Hips below knees would be way less than ideal, and our deduction for that deep squat is up to 3. So if you keep that in mind, you'll be able to apply appropriate deductions, because we do see a lot of fronts, and a lot of fronts in connection. So some have a little bit deeper squat when they're landing than others. So let's kind of see what we have. This one is a front tuck to a wolf jump. Her height was good. Her landing position was above, the horizontal. It wasn't stellar, but it was pretty nice. So if you had a deduction, it'd probably be an 05. Yeah.
If she's got nice height and the front was good, but she's taken off almost piked, is there a deduction on the takeoff if the skill is good?
I don't think so. I think, if she's going to stretch and show us going up, and what do tumbling experts say?
No?
No. I think we're looking at the result, and if the result worked at that point, I'm okay with that.
But I'm going to go back to my team and tell them yes, okay?
And this girl, I think she just had some kind of overall body feet issues on her combination. It wasn't as pretty as it could be. Yeah, internal amplitude, good answer. Okay, let's look at another one. This is a front tuck, from 1 foot to straddle jump. Would you agree she definitely has a deduction for where she landed? Mm-hmm. Yes, on her front tuck. It wasn't 3. It wasn't the worst it could be, but there was a deduction there. So you are going to take more than you took on the girl before, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then her angle on her straddle jump was kind of diagonal. So that would not be as acceptable as a nice split angle.
Congratulations. Yeah, it looked like she dropped her chest a little early and didn't drive that leg hard, so she lost her amplitude. And again, took it forward. Dropping her chest early didn't allow her to show an efficient tuck shape either in the air. And I thought the straddle jump, if she had just turned her knees and toes up, might have been better.
So minor deduction on that. Okay, the next one is a front tuck. Up to 3. Height is up to 3.
There we go.
She sat on her heels pretty. Yeah, that would be our 3. So I don't think we need to discuss that any further. Let's just keep playing with the next girl. And again, besides the extra balance there, but you see the range of fronts are huge. And she just and have the extra balance at the end, so she would obviously have lost the bonus on that. And then this one is our model. So do all the other deductions make sense now?
Yeah.
That's Vanessa Adler.
Of course, she's the only one that could ever do it like that.
No, Jenny had
And
some
look
big
at the open.
Here I am.
So that would be Stellar.
You can see how well she extends through her legs, pushes through her toes, upright on takeoff, really efficient front tuck shape.
Very good. Okay, we're going to do some flip-flop layouts now, just a few of those so you can see some variety. Obviously, she had leg form problems, but she had height. She went up. Yeah, she stayed up. So,
How about the take before she did the back handspring? The body position going into it at the college level, would we deduct that?
I would. You mean that whole bend over part?
And then stay there and then
if they
move?
stay there too long, well, we have the deduction for the stop, which is supposed to be, 1,000, 2, 1,000. And that's a separate deduction from rhythm tempo. That's its own deduction before they tumble. And she's waiting that long. And many of them are borderline. But are you talking about the body shape where she's leaning way forward into her back handsprings?
Like, not thinking college, I would have a tenth and a half before she even started flipping, between the pause and the body position
At JO,
before.
we would take that. So at collegiate, I guess you're going to have to use your best judgment and say, could it be done better? And,
Yeah, I'd say
Your guy.
this is a really good athlete. That flip-flop,
was
really good. Throws her head, collapses in the arms. So for her to be able to get that kind of amplitude on layout just says she's a really great athlete. But the mechanics were not there.
probably really good vault to that. Okay, next one.
This is really old, because look at the layout.
I know. Oh my goodness.
That's a 93 layout.
Hard to look at because it is not. But we have a 05 in there in flip-flop, and we have probably a 10th or so in the layout itself. It was solid, it was pretty nice, but there still were some execution errors.
Would you take the elbow bend and the shoulder block?
Yeah, yes, that's what I took. I only have a 5 on arms. Anything else? Okay, go to the next one. Long bend going on there. Remember, our bend deduction is up to 3/10 or 90 degrees. That was pretty bad. I took 2, but that's your call when you see it. But remember, 90 degrees is the 3/10 bend. And if she bends both legs 90 degrees, you only take 3 one time. It's not per leg. It's per element. So she didn't need any extra help with deduction.
Yeah, I was going to say it's hard to even talk about the layout because the flip-flop was so flawed. She rolled through her legs on her flip-flop. She split right off the beam. She had no power, so of course, again, having to shorten her radius and everything.
So that's something on the way out. Okay, then we'll look at a model. So we have that.
Baby Mills. No flash photography.
The quality of the video is not that great because obviously it's a little old.